As we welcome you back here to Hyde Stadium, getting set for game number 2 as Post States will host Aberdeen Smitties, as Kobe Carr will be on the mound for Post State. For those that are in Millette County, as kind of the southern portion of our listening area, there's a severe thunderstorm warning out here for another 45 minutes until 7:45, as that is in Millette. As it will be, its severe thunderstorm was located 4 miles east of Cedar Butte or 9 miles west of White River, moving northeast at 20 with half-dollar-size hail. It will remain over mainly rural areas of central Millette County and County north of Highway 44. Those that might be traveling on I-90 between Murdo and Draper right now, maybe turn the KCCR, as we have a baseball game that we're about to be played here at Hyde Stadium, but just be on the lookout if you're on I-90 going between Murdo and Draper. Some heavier rain is starting to make its way to the interstate, and you might have to wait for those to pass across before you continue to move. And again, we'll kind of keep you updated as the night goes on, and we have that severe thunderstorm warning in Millette County. If more start to pop up, and as News Director Zach Nelson will at least let me know what's going to be taking place, and we'll keep you updated as well. But we'll let you know whether you need to go to the FM stations, or for those that are watching the game or listening to the game, can go to KCCR's YouTube page, KCCR Sports YouTube page, and then can continue to watch and listen from there as well as we go through the evening. We will step aside one more time as they play in the national anthem. Back in a minute. You listen to Post State Baseball on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. Back here at Hyde Stadium, national anthem just got done playing as we're set for baseball here this evening, as Post States will host the Aberdeen Smitties. We go through the starting lineups for the Aberdeen Smitties, as they are the visitors here on the scoreboard here at Hyde Stadium in this second game of the doubleheader. Avery Badmockinson will lead things off as he's playing left field. Jose Melancio will be the shortstop, batting second. Aiden McCarty will be, Kim McCafferty will be the pitcher as he will bat third. Cleanup spot will be Matt Fiak, the catcher. Chuck Olson will bat fifth and play third base. Hunter Riggenberg will be the first baseman, batting sixth. Austin Wagman, the second baseman, batting seventh. Brock Martin will bat eighth, playing center field. And it'll be Nelson Munch, the right fielder, as he bats ninth, to round out the lineup for Aberdeen Smitties. Kobe Carr is on the mound. He got a start last Friday against Post 22. Really settled in. Gave up 6 runs in the first 2 innings, but settled in. Ended up going 5 innings and giving up just those 6 runs. Had 3 scoreless to finish out the ball game. And again, it's going to be all about finding the strike zone here early on for Kobe Carr here in game number 2. Defensively for Post States, Elliott Life is out in left field. Jack Van Camp in center field, and Will Van Camp will be out in right field. Lincoln Keenel's at third. Garrett Stout at shortstop. Andrew Coverdale at second, and Andy Gordon's at first. Cade Hinkle's behind the plates as Carr continues his warm-up tosses here to open up game number 2. I want to remind you that you're listening to KCCR Pierre Riverfront Broadcasting Station. And keep an eye on the weather throughout this evening as some storms are starting to pop up south of the Fort Pierre area right now, but starting to move into the listening area. And again, we'll let you know, give you details on whether you can stay here to continue to listen to the ball game, or stay here to hear severe weather coverage, or if you have to go to the FMs for the severe weather coverage, or head over to our YouTube channel, KCCR Sports, would be the only place to hear the game if we get to that point, and we'll let you know when that does happen. Avery Bad Moccasin will be the first man to face Kobe Carr. Bad Moccasin, a state track champion out in Aberdeen, and he gets his first chance to hit in game number 1. He went 0 for 2. The ground out and reached on an air, came around to score the only run of the game for Aberdeen. But missed out on that senior year of track, or missed out on this year of track, and I don't want to say that he is a senior without actually knowing for sure, but didn't get to run this year, but he was a state champion last season. Kobe Carr is going to work from the stretch to start the ball game. Here's the first pitch. That one misses low for ball 1 at 7:05. Here on this Wednesday evening, we have hit the midway point of this three-day stretch. Post State's 3-0 so far. 3 more games left all the way through Thursday night. One hopper to Garrett Stout on the left side, and the leadoff man is retired to open up the ball game. And here comes Jose Melancio. As he is 2 for 3. A single and a double in his the first 2 trips to the plate. And he struck out in the 4th inning. And again, it was 11-1 win for Post State in game number 1 if you're just now joining us. First pitch is taken for strike 1 to Melancio, who in a good spot, the number 2 spot for Aiden McCafferty. Although McCafferty's 0 for 3. The 0-1, swing and a miss, now 0-2. He got such a quick swing. I mean, the ball is nearly past him, and when he decides to start that swing, and it looks somewhat a little awkward, but his hands are so quick. The 2 hits he's had, you almost think this is impossible for him to get turned on the ball. Carr will get the sign from Hinkle. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Melancio. That one's in the dirt, and Hinkle will block it up with nobody on base. And it's now 1-2. From left to right in the outfield, Life, Jack Van Camp, Will Van Camp, Knowles, Stout, Covey, Gordon around the infield. Hinkle's behind the plate. And Kobe Carr is looking for the second out as he delivers the 1-2 pitch again to Melancio. That one's slow and out, 2-2. Good crowd here for Post State as we start here in game number 2. Tomorrow, it's a 4 o'clock start. So we've starting an hour earlier from yesterday and starting an hour early tomorrow from today. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Also in the dirt, now 3-2. From 0-2, Melanciono's worked it back to a full count. 4 o'clock against Sioux Falls West in that doubleheader. They'll be off to Aberdeen on Sunday for a doubleheader against the Smitties again. The 3-2 pitch in the dirt, and Carr will pick up his first walk issue to the ball game. As we look through the Post State schedule, Aiden McCafferty, the pitcher, will come to the plate. After Aberdeen, on Sunday, the following Tuesday, will be in Sioux Falls. Sioux Falls East and Yankton will play both those teams in a triangular. And then Mandan will be in town for a doubleheader on Wednesday of next week. That one's in the dirt. Melancio thought about second, but does not advance as Hinkle blocked it up perfectly. So those 4 games will be played Tuesday and Wednesday, and then off to Minot on Thursday, or on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for the Minot tournament. Then Watertown on July 1st, Mitchell and Sturgis on July 2nd at home. Watertown will be on the road for that one. Then all for the first weekend for the first time, not playing on a Friday, Saturday, or Sunday over the 4th of July. 1-0 pitch. Runner is off for second. The throw. Pitch was taken for a strike. The throw is in time. They got him at second. What a throw from Hinkle. What a tag from Coverdale. There's now 2 down. And Malanciano is caught stealing. And there's 2 outs. And I believe the umpire called strike 1. I believe it's a 1-1 count. Looked like he put his hand out. It would look pretty low if it would have been strike 1. Here's McCafferty. Again, a pitch. That one's grounded foul. As that's at least the first strike. It's 1-2. He called that 1-0 pitch a strike. And so it's a 1-2 count here to McCafferty. So with nobody on base and 2 down, here's the 1-2 pitch to the pitcher, McCafferty. That one's in the dirt. Now 2-2. So after that walk, Hinkle's able to throw him out stealing, and still a chance for a 3-batter inning here in the top of the first. Here's a 2-2 from Carr. Swing and a miss. McCafferty goes down on strikes, and that will retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors, no one left on base. We head to the bottom of the first inning. Aberdeen held scoreless. Post State coming to the plate. You're listening to the Post State Baseball on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. Aiden McCarty is on the mound for Aberdeen, as he has not yet to begin his warm-up tosses, as there is no catcher out there. As the catcher, Fayok, was on deck, and I guess he had everything off gear-wise. So it'll be a little bit of ways before we get this bottom of the first going. But that gives us a chance to go through the batting order. Andrew Coverdale will lead things off. This is game number 10. We'll see where his batting average sits. Will it be 600, or actually will it be 800 or 700 in the leadoff spot in the first inning? He's 7 for 9 in that leadoff spot in the first inning in these 9 games. Garrett Stouts will bat second and play shortstop. Andy Gordon's the first baseman batting third. Bennett Dean is in the cleanup spot as he is the DH. Kane Hinkle will bat fifth and be the catcher. Jack Van Camp is out in center field batting 6th. Lincoln Keenel is the third baseman batting 7th. Will Van Camp out in right field batting 8th. And Elliott Life will be the left fielder as he rounds out the order for Post State here in game number 2. So here is Andrew Coverdale. He went 1 for 3 in game number 1 with 2 runs batted in on the sac fly and an RBI ground out. He led off the bottom of the first with a double. First pitch is missed low for ball 1. McCafferty. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That one's right down the middle. Now 1-1 to Coverdale. And just mentioned 7 for 9 in the first inning as a leadoff man for Post State here this season. Now 2-1. Still has yet to draw a walk to start a game in the first inning, whether it's the top of the first or the bottom of the first. He has either got a base hit or he's been recorded and out. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Now 2-2. That one's at the knees. And Coverdale at the battle here. With the count even at 2-2. Here's Stout, who hit the 2-run home run to end us in game number 1. He is on deck. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Coverdale Pokes this one out towards center field. Going back on the center fielder, gets over his head, and Coverdale's going to be on second to lead off the bottom of the first inning. I believe that's going to be an error on the center fielder, Martin. And that'll bring up Garrett Stout. I want to give him a base hit so he can go a solid 800 in the leadoff spot in the first 10 games. But have to reach on an error and settle for a 700 batting average. Here's Garrett Stout. First pitch to him is low for ball one. And a 2-run home run to end game number one. He went 1 for 4 in that game with that 2-run home run. It's his only hit. Here's the 1-0 pitch. High and outside now, 2-1. Or excuse me, 2-0 to the Pierre shortstop. Andy Gordon is on deck as he's back to that first base position. Here's the 2-0. That one just misses low. Now 3-0. Number 2 hitter, Garrett Stout. With a shift on as the shortstop, Lanciano, is behind the bag at second, holding on Coverdale, but it's where he's playing his position. But it doesn't matter as Stout draws a walk in 4 pitches. And here's Andy Gordon. Gordon in game number 1 went 1 for 2. As you got a base hit in the 3rd inning. Coverdale took off for 3rd. He's going to get back to 2nd as nobody was able to get back over to 2nd. Either the second baseman or the shortstop, but able to get back to 2nd. Coverdale was going to stand up at 3rd by the time the ball was going to get to the plate if the pitcher and McCafferty didn't turn around and see that he started to take it off. So Gordon will step back in. McCafferty will come set from the stretch. First pitch is taken for strike 1. And you're not going to hold Coverdale on, and the second baseman now moves over and Wagman to keep it a little bit closer. Coverdale's going to take that extra base every single time. Here's the 0-1. That one's fought off and grounded to the second baseman. Wagman only played a first, and he will throw Gordon out for the first out here in the bottom of the first. And the second and third for Bennett Dean, the left-hander, the DH here in game number 2. Part of 3 straight lefties in the order, 4, 5, and 6, all hit left-handed. The first pitch is taken for strike 1. You have Elliott Life and Garrett Stout, 5 guys in the order that hit left-handed. Don't see that very often in high school baseball. 0-1 is upstairs, now 1-1. Usually major league, and even in the major league, sometimes having 5 lefties in the order is a little bit odd. Here's the 1-1 pitch to Bennett Dean. That one's grounded to the third baseman. And the only play is going to be the first. As they looked him back at the third baseman, will throw it away from Olson. As it's now going to be 2-0 as Garrett Stout will come around to score. And Bennett Dean's on second on another second error of the inning. Chuck Olson will pick up that error. So as it is Cade Hinkle that will come to the plate. Also want to tell you that there is a severe thunderstorm warning in Jones County now. As that storm is starting to move its way through Murdo and over I-90. First pitch is missed low to Cade Hinkle. Runner on second here with 1 down. Bennett Dean leads away from second. There's a ground ball to the right side. Good play there by the second baseman, Wagman, and he'll throw to first in time. And there's now 2 down. The first baseman, Regenberg, he started to go back to first base like he didn't have his foot on the bag, which kind of makes things a little bit more interesting, but he is retired. Hinkle is retired, so there's now 2 down. Dean moves over 90 feet to third, as it is Jack Van Camp. He is hit by the pitch on the first one that he sees. here this evening. And he will head over to first, and that will bring in Lincoln Keenels up with 2 down. So we go through the severe thunderstorm warning at 7:13. Severe thunderstorm is located over Murdo, moving north at 20, 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail. And locations impacted include Murdo and Draper. And that is out until 7:45. Actually, excuse me, that's out until 8 o'clock Central Time. First and third. 2 down here in the bottom of the first. First pitch to Keenels is taken for strike 1. So if you're on I-90, and a lot of times you might turn on the AM station here on 1240, today's KCCR. The 0-1 pitch to Keenels misses. Actually, it's going to be taken for strike 2. Just grazed the bottom of the knees there, and it's now 0-2. But if you've turned on the AM station here at today's KCCR, we're between Murdo and Draper. A lot of heavy rain. Might want to pull off and let that pass. The 0-2 pitch. That one's a ground ball to the right side and a chance to make history. To be tied, as it will be Wagman. That makes all 3 outs. A record that will never be broken, as Wagman records all 3 outs on 3 ground balls. A 2-run score on no hits in the inning, 2 errors, and 2 men left on base. We have played an inning. It is a 2-0 lead for Post State. Back in a minute. You're listening to Post State Baseball on today's KCCR, today's KCCR.com. As we head to the top of the second inning, it is a 2-0 lead as Post State leads over Aberdeen Smitty's 4, 5, and 6. Matt Fyack, Chuck Olson, and Hunter Riggenberg will be the first 3 hitters here at the top of the second. Zach Nelson, news director, he's over on the 2 FM stations on Country 95.3 and Capital City Rock, as they have severe weather coverage right now. If you're wondering about this game right now, the edge of the rain is about 20 miles southwest of Pierre. The storm is moving north, a little bit northeast, so we're not necessarily in any kind of immediate threat of having this game delayed, but as that storm starts to move a little bit closer, the edge of that rain is about 20 miles southwest of us here at Hyde Stadium. And the count is 0-1 to Fyack. That one will be fouled back, and it's now 0-2. We'll keep an eye out, and we'll also let you know. And, of course, again, if you're wanting to get severe weather coverage, you can head over to our FM stations, 104.5 Capital City Rock, as well as 95.3 Country 95.3, or over on our Facebook page. Zach Nelson is on Facebook Live as he has the severe weather coverage right now. The 0-2 pitch, that was a check swing, and it was a golf swing, and Stout will have to field on the run as he charges in, and the throw to first is in time. The leadoff man is retired. Just like he was in the top of the first, it's a 6-3 ground out here in the top of the second. Here is Chuck Olson. Olson 0 for 2 in game number 1. Strikeout victim, as well as a ground out victim back to Van Camp. He went the distance in those 5 innings. The first pitch to Chuck Olson. That one's a ground ball to the left side. Another chance for Stout. He'll field that one as he circled it. The throw to first is in time. 2 back-to-back good plays from Garrett Stout. And there is now 2 down. So while we look at one we look at those 2 severe thunderstorm warnings that are southwest. There's also a severe thunderstorm warning just east of Miller. That one, I believe, hasn't popped up for me to talk about, as Hunter Regenberg will foul one off of his foot. Han County has a severe thunderstorm warning out, but no information on that to pass along right now. Of course, Zach Nelson, again, over on Facebook page, Country 95.3 and Capital City Rock, has the details of those severe thunderstorm warnings. The 0-1 pitch, that one will bounce in now, 1-1 to Hunter Regenberg. Regenberg in game number 1, 0 for 1. He was hit by a pitch in the top of the second and then struck out part of 6 different strikeout victims that Jack Van Camp had in game number 1. Gave up just that 1 run all the way back in the 3rd inning. He reached on an error, so it was an unearned run that Van Camp gave up. As the 1-1 count and the 1-1 pitch, well, that one's smoked out to right field. Will Van Camp going back. He's got back to it in time, but he can't make the catch. And with 2 outs, Regenberg will be on base on the 2-out error from Will Van Camp. As that's the first error charged to Post State. That one looked like it had a lot more. It was going a lot farther than what it did, and Van Camp almost ran away from it. So it will be passed along to Wagman. First pitch is at the knees for strike 1. And, the first couple of innings here, the first inning and a half, that umpire has given the low strike, and he's been consistent giving that low strike, and hitters have to adjust. Pitchers will want to use that to their advantage. Carr steps off, and everybody will get reset. 0-1 is the count. Here to the number 7 hitter in the order, with 2 down in the top of the second. The 0-1 pitch. That one hits him. And Wagman will be at first base with 2 down here in the top of the second. That'll bring in Brock Martin, the center fielder. He took the loss in game number 1. He left after 2 innings of work. And with 2 outs here in the top of the second, Carr's trying to work around an error and a hit by pitch. As the first pitch to Brock Barnes, a swing and a miss. That's 0-1 to the center fielder. His first chance to hit here in this doubleheader. Carr will come set from the stretch. Here is the 0-1 pitch. That one's popped up. Stout will take charge. He'll call for it on the left side, and he can't make the catch. That one drops, and everybody's running towards the dugout. Stout's going to have to throw it home, and it's going to be high for Hinkle, and the run's going to score. Another man gets to third base, up to second, and that's a very tough break for Post State. Coach White's going to take his way out to the mound and talk with the infield as just about everybody was heading into the dugout. So the Smitties get their first run of the ball game. Is now 2-1 in the second error of the inning. And Stout just couldn't find the glove on that one. Well, it's a really tough one for Post State. Carr is giving up that first run after getting the first 2 guys out. An error, hit a batter, and another error. And all of a sudden, a base hit could give the Smitties the lead. And Carr would only give up 1 hit. All these runs here in the second inning are going to be unearned after getting the first 2 guys out. And the next 3 have reached base, 2 of them by error. 2-1 here at the top of the second. Here is Nelson Munch, the number 9 hitter in the order. Munch did not play in game number 1. Carr will deliver the first pitch. That one's in the dirt, and a good block there by Hinkle. Keep this a 2-1 ball game right now. So that severe thunderstorm warning in Jones County kind of just hanging right over I-90 right now. The 1-0 pitch. That one's flown out to left field. That one's going to get foul. That was a good piece of hitting there by Munch, although it went foul. Count is now 1-1. So again, if you're between Murdo and Draper on I-90, you might want to take things a little bit slower. Might want to pull over, let that storm pass through as we continue to watch that storm. And the heaviest of the rain is about 28 miles southwest of Hyde Stadium right now. There's a ground ball. That will be off of the man at third base, the third base runner, but he's in the foul territory, so he is not out. As Wagman was hit by the foul ball. If he had moved into fair territory and then got hit, that would have been the end of the inning, but since he's in foul territory, it remains 1-2 off the foul ball. Carr from the stretch. Here's the 1-2 pitch. In the dirt, Hinkle gets just underneath him, but he's able to gather that without Wagman trying to score. So the count is now 2-2. Here to the number 9 hitter. Carr from the stretch. Here's the 2-2. Get in the dirt, and another good block by Hinkle. Will have a base open right now, but you're facing the number 9 man in the order. And the top of the order, and Avery Bad Moccasin is on deck. 2 down here in the top of the second. 2-1 is our score. 2 errors in the inning. And a hit batter has kept this inning alive after the first 2 men went down in order. 3-2 is low, and that's ball 4. The bases are now loaded. And here comes Avery Bad Moccasin to the plate. He is 0 for 1. He ground out to Stout to lead off the top of the first inning. Carr's got to work around a very tough inning here. First pitch. That one's popped up. In foul territory. He's going to get out of play, and it just will. And it lands right in front of the stands, and now it's 0-1. Good hustle by Hinkle. Got over to it. Bases are loaded. 2 outs here in the top of the second. The 0-1 pitch to Bad Moccasin. Inside, nearly gets him, but it's now 1-1. The first 2 men went down in order. 2 ground balls to the shortstop, Stout. Regenberg reached on an error by the right fielder, Will Van Camp. Wagman was hit by a pitch. Garrett Stout dropped a pop-up. Now 2-1 in the count. And then a walk has made it 2-1. And here's Avery Bad Moccasin ahead in the count, 2-1, with 2 down here in the top of the second inning. Aberdeen's to get their first chance to take their first lead here between the 2 games. 2-1 pitch is upstairs now, 3-1, and nowhere to put him. Carr's got to come in the zone here. A walk ties the ball game up, and for Coach White, starting to figure out who's going to be that next guy to come in the ball game, and you're still trying to save some pitchers because there's not too many days off all summer long, really. 3-1 pitch. That one's over for strike 2. And now everybody will get a head start. All 3 runners with a 3-2 count and 2 down here in the top of the second inning. Carr will come set from the stretch. And here comes the 3-2 pitch. That one misses low for ball 4. And that will tie the ball game up. And it is 2-2 here in the top of the second. No hits in the ball game yet between either side, but we have 2-2 game. 2-0-2 for both teams. 2 runs, no hits, 2 errors. First pitch to Malancio is missed for ball 1. So Carr really laboring here in the second inning. which should have been out of 4 batters ago. 5 batters ago. There's a ground ball to the left side. Stout will field. It'll go the short way to second, and Coverdale can't make the catch. And now Aberdeen has their first lead. And it's now a 3-2 ball game. And here's Aiden McCafferty, the 9th man to come to the plate. So that's the 3rd error of the ball game and 3rd error of the inning. Swing and a miss by McCafferty. And Carr's got to work out of 3 different errors in this second. All 3 of these runs have been unearned. And the last 5 guys have reached base. Excuse me, the last 6 guys have reached base. And it's now 1-1. It makes it tough. As a pitcher, the extra pitches in this inning drive up the pitch count. Now a swing and a miss, now 1-2. But you look at the hit by pitch, a walk, another walk, those 2 extra errors. Carr's going to throw about an extra 20 to 25 pitches through this at bat. Now 2-2 is the count. Bases are still loaded. 3-2 is our score. Aberdeen leads by 1 here at the top of the second. Post State will have 8-9-1 to lead things off in the bottom of the second inning. The 2-2 popped up, foul territory, and is going to stay in play for Hinkle. It's going to go off the fencing, and it remains at 2-2. Again, if you're checking on severe weather coverage, Zach Nelson, news director, has it over on Country 95.3 and 104.5 Capital City Rock, as well as today's KCCR Facebook page. 2-2 pitch, swing and a foul tip, and McCafferty just stays alive as it remains a 2-2 count. Rain's starting to move a little bit, starting to creep a little bit closer here to Hyde Stadium. The heaviest stuff is still well south, but those severe thunderstorm warnings, as a 2-2 is just inside, now 3-2. Action in the right field bullpen. Can't see exactly who it is that's throwing out there, but someone is getting loose for Post State. Here's the 3-2 pitch with 2 outs. Fouled back, and we'll do it again. Just trying to see who that might be. Oh, you can see the top of the head. Here's a 3-2 again from Kobe Carr. Swing and a miss, and that will finally end the top of the second inning. So 3-run score on no hits, 3 errors in the inning, and 3 men left on base. We head to the bottom of the second. Aberdeen has their first lead here today, 3-2. You're listening to Post State Baseball, and today is KCCR, and today is KCCR.com. Back here in the at Hyde Stadium as we head to the bottom of the second, it is a 3-2 lead for the Aberdeen Smitties. 3 runs in that top of the second on no hits, 3 errors, and 3 men left on base. We have played an inning and a half. We've scored 5 runs between the two teams. We have 5 errors between the two teams, and we have a combined 0 hits out on the scoreboard right now. We can only go up from here, right? The whole game in general can only go up from here. You hope. As Post State will have 8, 9, and 1. Will Van Camp, Elliott Life, and Andrew Coverdale will lead things off here in the bottom of the second inning. Again, for those of you that are tuning in on today's KCCR, maybe looking for severe weather coverage, glad you could join us here for the baseball game, but severe weather coverage is over on Country 95.3 and Capital City Rock 104.5 and on today's KCCR's Facebook page. We'll keep you updated as we go along, as for those that are listening to the ball game and maybe kind of watching the weather a little bit too, that rain is starting to get a little bit closer to Pierre. So we'll see if we can get this ball game in, but that rain is starting to move a little bit closer. The weather might stay far enough west, so it may not impact us. We're watching the weather as it's 3 different severe thunderstorm warnings in Millette and 2 in Jones County right now as it starts to move its way farther into our listening area. Will Van Camp with a 1-1 pitch. We'll fly this one out to center field, but moving over is a center fielder, Martin, and he'll make the catch to retire the leadoff man here in the bottom of the second. And here's Elliott Life, the left fielder, as he will get his second at-bat. Second plate appearance, as he got try to see where he hit here in the order. Might have didn't put him down, but he came to the plate. Actually, there it is. He ground out back to the pitcher in his first at-bat, or his only at-bat so far here today. 0-1 count to Life. That one will miss low, now 1-1. To the left fielder here in game number 2, Andrew Coverdale is on deck. The 1-1 pitch. That one's popped foul and out of play, and it's now 1-2. Dirk Campbell is in the press box here at Hyde Stadium. We'll keep the microphone away from him for now. We'll let him come up here and join us one time, but not the, he's one of the high school baseball coaches, so he's been coaching these guys for quite a while. The 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss, and Life goes down on strikes. So he's a fan right now, but he's still a coach, and he knows how good this Post State team can be. And that last inning was not a good inning for Post State. So he and probably Coach Kruger, who's down there as well, and Steve Gray, who's listening right now, all 3 of them probably aren't too happy with how that second inning went. First pitch misses low for ball 1. I do know that Dirk Campbell is not too happy how that second inning went as he shakes his head at me. 1-0 is the count to Andrew Coverdale. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That one misses low, now 2-0. Coverdale reached base, came around to score in that first inning as he reached on an error to the center fielder. And he ended up scoring on a pass ball. Him and Stout led off the game, both reaching base, and they both came around to score. Part of that 2-run inning with 2 errors and no hits. 2-0 pitch. That one will miss low. Now 3-0. Again, still action in the right field bullpen for Post State. Might be Justin who let that swarming up down there. Now 3-1. The hardest part is trying to see over the top of that, over the top of the fence. 3-1 pitch. There's a line shot by Coverdale. The center fielder, Martin, will go back. That's over his head. That was down for the first hit of the ball game. And it's going to roll all the way to the wall. Coverdale around second. He's on his way to third. Long throw from Martin. Overshoots his cutoff man with a good job backing up with the second baseman, Wogman. But it's a 1-out triple or 2-out triple for Andrew Coverdale. And the tying run is 90 feet away for Garrett Stout. Stout looking after he drew a walk to pick up where he left off to the bottom of the 5th with that 2-run walk-off home run. First pitch to Stout. That one's flown out towards right field. Coming in on it's in foul territory. It's going to land foul for strike 1. Munch was on his way over there. And it's 0-1 here to the shortstop, Garrett Stout. McCafferty has given up just one hit. He's the only, out of the two pitchers, he's given up the only hit so far. Although he scored 5 combined runs. Post State trying to tie the game up as they trail 3-2. Again, the shift on for Stout has got the third baseman, Olson, playing between short and third base. So Coverdale's got a lot of room to get a really big lead. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That one's upstairs now, 2-1. And Olson moves over to third after the pitch is thrown. But Coverdale, I mean, you don't want to really chest Coverdale because he's got good sense of the base pass. He could easily steal home. You don't really talk about too much. 2-1 pitch is taken for strike 2. But with 2 outs in the bottom of the second, and you have a number 2 hitter, Garrett Stout, up to the plate, you don't really want to test that steal home to end the inning and leave Stout standing there. 2-2 pitch. That one's grounded to the first baseman and fielded by Riggenberg, and he'll step on the plate or step on the base for the third out, and that will retire the side here in the bottom of the second. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 man left on base. We've played 2 complete. Aberdeen leads 3-2. Back in a minute. You're listening to Post State Baseball on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com.
Listening to yours, and I couldn't hear what the umpire or
the back here at the top of the third inning. We don't. You might be able to hear Dirk Campbell talking in the background. We don't want to talk about what that the head coach said over the radio. We don't want to talk about what he said last night. He got himself ejected. As it's the top of the third, 3-2 is our score. We have played 2 full innings. We've had 1 hit combined, and we've seen 5 runs score. 3-2 is our score. Aberdeen leads over Post State. Carr is on to his third inning of work. First pitch to the number 4 hitter, Matt Fyock, is a swing and a miss for strike 1. He led off the top of the second with a ground out to Stout. That one's popped foul, and that one's coming back towards the press box and going to get just to the left of us, and it's now 0-2. 0-2 is the count to Matt Fyock. The 0-2 pitch. That one's poked to the left side. Stout will call for it. He'll make the catch, and there's 1 down. The leadoff man is retired for the 3rd straight inning. Here's Chuck Olson, who also grounded out to Stout in the 2nd inning. The first 2 guys were retired in that top of the second, and then it was an error, hit by pitch, error, walk, error. That allowed 3 runs to score. And Aberdeen had a 3-2 lead. First pitch bounces in for ball 1. Lincoln Keenel's the third baseman, playing just inside the third base bag. Stout playing at the edge of the infield dirt and the outfield grass. Out at shortstop. That one's a ground ball to Stout. Another chance for him. He'll field. The throw to first is in time. There's 2 quickly gone, just like there were in the top of the 2nd inning. And here is Hunter Riggenberg, and make the play here on Riggenberg and get this 3rd inning over much quicker than the top of the 2nd. For Post State in the bottom of the 3rd inning, it'll be 3, 4, and 5. Gordon, Dean, and Hinkle. Here's the first pitch from Carr to Regenberg. That one's ripped foul down the first base line. That's a long strike. Boy, that box score just is one that will make a lot of coaches very angry, whether you're a coach on the team or not. That one's fouled away. Now 0-2. 3-0-2 for Aberdeen. 2-1-3 for Pierre. And both coaches are saying that's not going to win us any ball games. Don't care what the other team does. We don't want to win ball games. Putting up 3 errors, 2 errors, not getting any base hits. The 0-2 pitch, a swing and a miss. Oh, he fouled it. He got a piece of it. So Regenberg will stay alive on a slow curveball from Kobe Carr. It looked like he had swung and missed at the pitch in the dirt, but it remains 0-2. Regenberg is 0 for 1. He reached on an error in that top of the second that started that 3-run, 2-out rally without getting a base hit. That one's popped up on the left side. Coming over for it is Elliott Life. He will make the catch, and that will retire the side. So there's a 1-2-3 inning for Kobe Carr, and that will send us to the bottom of the third. Aberdeen leads 3-2. You're listening to Post-State Baseball on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. As we welcome you back here to the bottom of the third inning, in a 3-2 lead, it is 3, 4, and 5. Andy Gordon, Bennett Dean, and Cade Hinkle to lead things off. If anybody gets on base, it'll be Jack Van Camp. As, again, we continue to watch a little bit of the weather. And, again, if you're looking for severe weather coverage, Zach Nelson has it over on Country 95.3 and Capital City Rock 104.5, as well as at today's KCCR Facebook page. Seeing the skies starting to darken a little bit to our east. Well, you can. Dev's a little bit had a severe thunderstorm in Han County that had been expired, but we're keeping an eye on those storms to our southwest, and hopefully they stay west or they dissipate and really don't even bring any rain over here to Hyde Stadium. At least not until after these 2 ball games are completed, after this ball game is completed. Andy Gordon here, the leadoff man, the first pitch. He'll swing at that one, rope it into left center field. As a base hit for Andy Gordon to lead things off in the bottom of the third inning. And he remains hot from the plate. And here comes Bennett Dean, the DH. He reached on an error and was stranded on third base back in the bottom of the first. From the stretch, McCafferty will deliver. Dean tried to bunt one towards the third base line, and he misses, and it's strike 1. I guess that and the third baseman now, and Olsen will move in a little bit. Boy, he had all kinds of room to bunt it down the third base line, and he could have walked to first base and been safe. The throw will get away as he tried to pick it off at first base, so Gordon will get to second, and he will stand there. The error charge to the pitcher, and McCafferty, and each team now with 3 errors apiece. We have 1 more error than we have runs combined in this second game, as we play with nobody out in the bottom of the third. McCafferty will come set. Here is the 0-1 pitch. And it's now 0-2. On deck is Cade Hinkle. Boy, they are playing Dean to really deep in center field. They're playing no triples defense on Dean. There's a ground ball to the right side. That one just goes to the right side of the first base bag. And it remains 0-2. Martin is playing almost at the warning track out in center field. He is playing just about as deep as he possibly can out in center. Wind does look like it's blowing out, but while Dean has some pop to him, I don't know if you really want to play that deep. 0-2 pitch again. Inside now 1-2. We have some of the shifts that have been put on in Major League Baseball for those left-handed hitters, and they've kind of gotten away a little bit of the shift. They still have it somewhat on. The third baseman, Olsen, near the bag. 1-2 is outside now, 2-2. Last year, I believe it was, Matt Carpenter for the Cardinals dropped down a bunt. He pushed the bunt down the third base line, ended up with a double, a stand-up double, because they moved everybody basically to second base, into the right of second base. 2-2 pitch. Excuse me, a 3-2 pitch was low, and it's now 3-2 as Bennett Dean started to make his way down to first base, but he's going to have to come back as the count is full 3-2. And Gordon again will lead away from second. Here's the 3-2 to Bennett Dean. That one is low and is now a walk with nobody out. And it's first and second, which will bring up Cade Hinkle. Jack Van Camp will move to the on-deck circle. Hinkle grounded out to the second baseman. Back in the bottom of the first inning. First and second with nobody out. Hinkle will show bunt. He'll drop it down to the first baseline. That's a great bunt by Hinkle. The throw to first is going to be in time, and barely able to stay on the bag was Riggenberg. And that was the first out, but a good sacrifice bunt from Cade Hinkle. And in steps Jack Van Camp. Van Camp was hit by a pitch, and he was stranded at first base. Back in the bottom of the first, his first chance could be his first official at bat. He swings and fouls the first pitch back. And it's 0-1. With the runners at second and third here with one down, Post State looking to keep the momentum going with timely hits, with hitting and runners in scoring position. A base hit could give them the lead back. The 0-1 is in the dirt now, 1-1. Again, with Van Camp, the left-handed hitter. Valencio is behind the second base bag. The 1-1 pitch. That one will get away from Fyock, and here comes Andy Gordon. He will score, and it's now a 3-3 ball game. And it also moves Bennett Dean up 90 feet to third base, and still an RBI opportunity here for Jack Van Camp, which a base hit would give Post State the lead. Two and 1 is the count. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. He'll look at strike two, Will Van Camp. I should say Jack Van Camp. Will Van Camp is two batters from now. From the stretch, McCafferty will deliver the 2-2 pitch. That one is low, now 3-2. So the number 6 hitter in the order, Jack Van Camp, looking to get on base for the second time. Lincoln Keenels is on deck. And here comes the 3-2 from McCafferty to Jack Van Camp. Popped up just outside the infield. Valencio will go after it. The center fielder, Martin, will come in to make the catch. And the strong arm will be cut off at the mound by Riggenberry, the first baseman. So there's now two down. And it's up to Lincoln Keenels to give Post State the lead back here in the bottom of the third inning. Keenels grounded out to the second baseman to end the bottom of the first. First pitch to him is upstairs for ball one. Want to remind you that you're listening to KCCR Pierre Riverfront Broadcasting Station as we hit the 8 o'clock hour here on this Wednesday evening. Again, severe weather coverage over on Country 95.3, Capital City Rock 104.5. Now 2-0 to Lincoln Keenels. Also as well on our today's KCCR Facebook page as Zach Nelson handling those duties. Looking at those severe thunderstorms in Jones County right now. The 2-0 pitch to Lincoln Keenels. That one's popped up. Fouls are going to stay in play as it will get into the stands. And it's now 2-1. Rain is getting a little bit closer to Hyde Stadium. Nothing too, what looks like it would be too serious to us in terms of not being able to get the game continued. But we might see some rain here at Hyde Stadium here in the next several minutes. About less than 10 miles away from potential rain starting here. 2-1 pitch. That one is low, now 3-1. There's a rain out east of us, so that's going away from Hyde Stadium right now. Here's a 3-1. That one's fouled back, and that one will get out of play. It's now 3-2. Just one more severe thunderstorm warning in Jones County. That's out for another 28 minutes. But things could get a little bit wet here for most of the second game. Here's a 3-2 to Lincoln Keenels upstairs, and he draws a 2-out walk. And it'll bring up number 8 hitter, Will Van Camp. 2 down here in the bottom of the third. Van Camp is 0 for 1. Will Van Camp, that is 0 for 1. He flew out to the center fielder in his first at bat. Looking to drive in the go-ahead run here in the bottom of the third inning. McCafferty, he'll deliver as the man was off of the pitch. That one's out towards center field. Diving for it is Martin, and he makes the catch to retire the side. Martin saves 2 runs. And it's and that will end the bottom of the third inning. 1 run, 1 hits, no errors, and 2 men left on base. We head to the top of the fourth. Aberdeen and Pierre tied at 3. Back in a minute. You're listening to Post-State Baseball. Today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. Back here for the top of the fourth inning. Kobe Carr on to his 4th inning of work as he will deal with 7, 8, and 9. Austin Wagman, Brock Martin, and Nelson Munch to lead things off here for the Aberdeen Smitties. It is a 3-3 ball game with just 2 hits combined. Both of them are pure hits. But there is 6 errors combined between the 2 teams. That's been a defensive struggle here so far in this game through the first 3 full innings. First pitch from Kobe Carr is a swing and a miss by Wagman. Off-speed pitch there from Carr. Carr has given up those 3 runs. All 3 of those runs have been unearned. And up until that run scored from Andy Gordon, it has been that was the first earned run of the ball game of the 6. 2-1's the count. So the number 7 hitter, Austin Wagman. Still watching that rain coming from the southwest. If I keep talking about it long enough, and maybe it'll stay far enough away and won't actually get to us before this game's over. 3-1 is the count now to the second baseman, Wagman. On deck is Brock Martin and Nelson Munch. All 3 guys reached base in their first trip to the plate. That one is looked out for strike 2, now 3-2. Wagman was hit by a pitch in his first plate appearance. He came around to score the second run that tied the ball game up at 2-2. Here's a 3-2. Check swing, fouled. And that one will just get to the right of the press box. And it remains 3-2. Tomorrow afternoon, 4 o'clock, will be the start of Pierre and Sioux Falls West in a doubleheader. 3-2 pitch again, swing and a miss, and Carr gets a strikeout to open up the top of the 4th inning. That is his 3rd strikeout of the ball game. And the leadoff man has been retired in all 4 innings so far for Post State, or for Aberdeen, from the Post State pitcher, Kobe Carr. Brock Martin, he reached on an error in his first plate appearance as he popped that one up to the shortstop, and Stout lost in the sun, end up not taking his eye off the ball, is trying to make the catch. 1-0 pitch. That one is looked out for strike 1 now, 1-1. But Martin reached on that error and then came around to score that 3rd run. The 1-1 is upstairs, now 2-1. Again, Carr with those 3 unearned runs and really labored in that second inning. That pitch count would be about 20 to 30 pitches less if he would have got out of that second inning with the first error, if that would have been caught. 2-1, a swing and a miss in the dirt. And it's now 2-2. And Carr is looking for his second strikeout of the inning, which would be his 4th in the ball game. Here is the 2-2 pitch. That one will bounce 50 feet, and it'll be 3-2 now. And Justin Hulett warming up in the bullpen in right field, but no action right now in the Post State bullpen. Carr from the stretch. Here's the payoff pitch to Brock Martin. Popped up on the infield. Stout will take a couple steps in, and there's now 2 down. Here in the top of the 4th inning, and that'll bring up the number 9 hitter, Nelson Munch. Munch, he drew a walk and was stranded at second to the 3rd base and the top of the 2nd. Part of 5 straight guys that got on base without a hit and 3 separate errors. I shouldn't even say 5 straight guys, 6 straight guys that got on base with 3 errors and 3 free passes. First pitch is taken for strike 1 to Nelson Munch. Carr will deliver the 0-1. On the outside corner now, 0-2. And looking for another 1-2-3 inning. Here is the 0-2 pitch from Carr to Munch. Outside, 1-2. And if you look at it, too, take away that error and turn it into an out, it would have been a 1-2-3 inning in the 2nd inning. And Carr would have been facing the minimum through now and here in the 4th inning with 2 outs. There's a ground ball to the left side. Keen Knowles will field. The throw to first is in time, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Kobe Carr. We head to the top of the bottom of the fourth inning. We are still still squared at 3. Post State will have 9-1-2 to do up in the bottom of the fourth inning. Back in a minute. You're listening to Post State Baseball on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. Nick Clemens will be the new man on the mound for Aberdeen as we play here into the bottom of the fourth inning. So Hayden McCafferty, unless he went somewhere on the field and trying to find out if he is anywhere on the field, I believe he's going to be out of the ball game, and Nick Clemens will move into his spot in the order. As McCafferty, with those 3 innings, and gave up those 3 runs, only one of those were earned in those 3 innings. Gave up just 2 hits. As in terms of walks and strikeouts, he had just 1 strikeout. And he gave 3 walks, and he also hit a man, so 4 free passes overall. The first man to greet Nick Clemens will be Elliott Life.
New pitchers for the Aberdeen City, number 18, Nick Clemens.
Elliott Life 0 for 1 on the strikeouts in his first plate appearance. Back in the bottom of the second. Here in the bottom of the fourth, a 3-3 game. The first pitch to Elliott Life is outside for ball 1. As we'll have a quick mound visit from Vioc to talk with his pitcher and Nick Clemens. And again, for Post State, they play tomorrow at home here against Sioux Falls West at a 4 o'clock start. Sunday, we'll travel to Aberdeen to take on the Smitties again for a doubleheader. Hopefully those 2 games, and especially in the one how this has started, hopefully game 2 of that doubleheader will have a little bit cleaner look to it. And this one has started out. The 1-0 pitch is outside, 2-0. Then after that, it'll be Sioux Falls East and Yankton on that Tuesday in Sioux Falls. As we'll travel and play Sioux Falls East and Yankton. Part of that is Miss Low now 3-0. Then back home against Mandan next Wednesday. And then to Minot for a Friday, Saturday, Sunday tournament, as the Minot Vistas will host their annual tournament. That's the only tournament out of the 3 that Post State is in that did not get changed. It's now 3-1. Actually, there was 4 tournaments they're going to be in, and one, the Gopher Classic, is not happening this year. So now they'll play in the new Dakota Classic. The 3-1 pitch. There's a line shot by Life into right field. That one's going to take 1 hop, and it's going to get past the right fielder just barely. Life will turn and head for second. The throw in, dives head first, and he's out at second. And Life will get a base hit, but he's thrown out trying to stretch it into a single and an error by the right fielder, but a good play by the right fielder in Munch. And there's 1 down. So there's 1 down here at the bottom of the fourth. And was the 3rd hit of the ball game for Post State. Can't wait to go up to Minot and get a chance to travel. nice ballpark up in Minot, North Dakota. The first pitch to Coverdale is taken for strike one. Clemens, the 0-1 pitch. That one's fought off. And it goes to the first base dugout. Now 0-2. So Clemens, in his first man he faces, gives up a base hit, but gets bailed out by his right fielder who mishandled it to him, but ends up making a strong throw to record the first out. Coverdale on the 0-2 pitch. That one's into center field. Coming in on his Martin. He dives and makes another fantastic catch and takes another hit away from post 8. There's now 2 down. Two diving grabs by Brock Martin here in the last 3 outs recorded by Aberdeen. And this is another game where Post State's not getting the breaks right now. First pitch to Garrett Stout. That one's grounded foul down the first baseline. 3 runs, 3 hits, 3 errors for Post State. 3 runs, no hits, 3 errors for Aberdeen. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th. The 0-1 pitch to Stout is outside, now 1-1. 2 fantastic plays out there by Brock Martin. Kept it a 3-3 ball game to end the bottom of the 3rd, which was probably going to be a 5-3 lead if he doesn't make that catch. And when he comes in and makes that diving catch on Coverdale, as Stout fouls the 1-1 pitch at the plate, and it's now 1-2. If he doesn't make that catch and goes past him, Coverdale might get an inside the park home run. That would have been, if he doesn't make the catch, it would have been interesting to see how far Coverdale could have ran. Probably at least a triple. Here's the 1-2 pitch. There's a line shot back up the middle, right where the shortstop might have been playing, and it's a base hit through the shift. And Stout will take a hard turn at first and will retreat back. And that'll bring in Andy Gordon. Gordon singled and came around to score. He advanced to second on the throwing error by the pitcher, Aiden McCafferty. You hear a little bit of rumbles of thunder. Hopefully it stays away. First pitch to Gordon. There's a ground ball. That one died on the infield grass, fielded by the shortstop, Valencia, and the throw to first is in time. And that will retire the side here in the bottom of the 4th. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. We head to the 5th inning. We are tied up at 3. Back in a minute. You're listening to Post State Baseball. Today is KCCR, and today is KCCR.com. As we head into the top of the 5th inning, it is a 3-3 ball game as Kobe Carr is on for his 5th inning of work, as he will face the top of the order of Avery Bad Moccasin, Jose Valencia, and it will be Nick Clemens in the spot for Aiden McCafferty. A new severe thunderstorm warning that's in effect for the next 40 minutes for Jones, Lyman, and Stanley County. East Central Jones, Southeastern Stanley, Northwestern Lyman. That's around the Vivian area right now. As it's got 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail moving northeast at 30 miles an hour. Right now, Vivian's the only town impacted by that severe thunderstorm warning. First pitch swinging out towards center field. Jack Van Camp will head back and make the catch, and there's one pitch and one out here in the top of the fifth inning, and that'll bring in Jose Valencia. One down here in the top of the fifth inning in a 3-3 game. Pierre has 4 hits now, as they have the only 4 hits of the ball game. As the first pitch, a swing and a miss, a walk and an error that has allowed Valencia to be on base twice. As Nick Clemens on deck, looking for his first at bat here in this doubleheader. Swing and a miss, 0-2, another tough pitch and another good job by Kobe Carr. He's got an 0-2 count. Getting more action in the right field bullpen for Post State. Here's the 0-2 pitch. There's a line shot. There's the first hit of the ball game for Aberdeen, as it's going to be down the line and past Elliott Life and into the corner. And it's going to be a one-out double for Valencia. And he will be in scoring position to try and recapture the lead for Aberdeen here in the top of the fifth. And here is Nick Clemens. Clemens in his first at bat. McCafferty went 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. He struck out 4 times tonight. He went 0 for 5. Struck out twice in the first game, twice in the second game. He also flew out to center field. So Nick Clemens is in his spot in the number 3 position on the batting order. 1-0 pitch is at the letters, now 1-1. At second base is Valencia. Fayok is on deck. Chuck Olson would be after him here with 1 down here in the top of the fifth. Here's the 1-1 pitch from Carr. That one's popped up on the infield. Lincoln Keenholz will call for it, and he'll make the catch for the second out. That one started to get him to go back and forth. And there's now 2 down here in the top of the fifth inning. Here's Matt Fayok, the catcher, 0 for 2. Ground out victim, and also popped up the shortstop Stout. Here's Carr's first pitch to the catcher, Fayok. That one's off the end of the bat and will be foul for strike 1. As a loose bullpen baseball comes down to Cade Hinkle. Runner on second with 2 down here in the top of the fifth. Here's the 0-1 from Carr to Fayok. Swing and a miss. Fayok got tied up. Barely got a full swing in there, and it's now 0-2. Chuck Olson is on deck for Post State in the bottom of the fifth. It'll be Bennett Dean, Cade Hinkle, and Jack Van Camp. The first 3 hitters. Here's the 0-2 from Carr. Swing and a miss. Down on strikes goes Fayok, and that will retire the side here in the top of the fifth. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, no 1 man left on base. We head to the bottom of the fifth inning. Post State looking to try to get that lead back as it's 3-3. Back in a minute. You're listening to Post State Baseball on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. Not a problem. As we head to the bottom of the fifth inning, it is a 3-3 tie ball game as Gray Zabel will hit for Bennett Dean. It will be the new DH. Dean went 0 for 1. Reached on air and also drew a walk. But Zabel will lead things off as he's back in his cleanup spot, but leading off here in the bottom of the fifth inning. Again, the severe thunderstorm warning as we look at some of the radar itself around the Pierre and Fort Pierre area. Kind of keeping our eyes to the south as rain could be closing in on Pierre. A little bit stronger, some weather to our southwest. That's starting to pick up some traction. There's a severe thunderstorm that's just moving around Vivian right now. And again, for that severe weather coverage, you can head over to Country 95.3 or Capital City Rock 104.5 for Zach Nelson or today's KCCR's Facebook page as he is on Facebook Live right now. First pitch is taken for strike one to Gray Zabel. In game number one, Zabel went 2 for 2 with 2 singles. And he also drew a walk, came around to score. Part of that 11-1 win. It's 3-3 here in the bottom of the fifth. Well, if Post State can score 1 run here in this fifth inning, and the skies open up on us, it'll be a full game. That one's a ground ball up the middle for a base hit through the shift, and Zabel has his first hit. He's 1 for 1 here on the pinch hit, base hit. And they'll bring in Cade Hinkle. He is 0 for 1. He grounded out to the second baseman and also had a sacrifice bunt in the third inning. And again, the left-handed hitters get the shift treatment from everybody. Hinkle will try and bunt again. He'll pull it back, and it's taken high for ball 1. The third baseman, Olsen, he's playing pretty fun. He's almost like the shortstop's coming in to try and field the bunt. Depending on how things go, if Olsen comes charging in as much as he does, Zabel could take second and third before as Hinkle will pull back the bunt and the ground ball to the right side. The second baseman's going to try and get to it. He dives for the bag, and Hinkle's going to beat it out with an infield single. Riggenberg did not field it cleanly. He did not even field it. The second baseman was backing him up, and Wagaman, but as he gave up just a little bit, thinking he was going to toss it to the first baseman or the pitcher that was covering, nobody was there, and Hinkle was able to beat him down the line. He gets an infield single. And it's now first and second with nobody out. And here's Jack Van Camp. He will try and drop down a bunt, but that one will be fouled back to the bricks. And it's 0-1. Van Camp, he is 0 for 1, hit by a pitch, and also flew out to center field back in the third inning. Post State trying to reclaim the lead. They led 2-0, down 3-2, and then tied it up 3-3 in the bottom of the third. A bunt pulled back by Van Camp and taken outside is now 1-1. Nobody out here in the bottom of the fifth. 6 hits in the ball game for Pierre. And not get that first hit until the late in the second inning. As there's a good bunt from Van Camp. Nobody's covering first base, and the bases are now loaded with nobody out. Riggenberg started to come in the line. The second baseman, Wagman, didn't go over to the bag, thinking that Riggenberg was going to be over there at first. And so the pitcher, Clements, had nowhere to go. So now the bases are loaded. And another infield single. And Jack Van Camp is now 1 for 2. And here's Lincoln Keenholz. That one is taken for strike 1. Lincoln Keenholz will wait on the 0-1 pitch. Swings and misses. Now 0-2. Keenholz is 0 for 1. He grounded out to the second baseman and also walked. So here is an 0-2 count for Lincoln Keenholz. Swings and misses. It's going to be strike 3. He's out, but Zabel's going to come in to score. And there's one down here in the bottom of the 5th inning when a run does score on the pass ball. And it's one down, and it's 2nd and 3rd here with one out as Will Van Camp, the right fielder, will step to the plate. Van Camp, Will Van Camp was robbed of 2 RBIs in his last at-bat, and that one will be fouled out of play. And it's 0-1. And that rain continues to move just a little bit closer here to Pierre. Although the sky is not showing that it's getting any closer. The 0-1 is looked at for strike 2, now 0-2. One down here in the bottom of the 5th. 4-3 is our score. Here's the 0-2 pitch from Clemens to Will Van Camp, and it hits him. And Van Camp almost got hit in the stomach. It's now bases loaded again. And that'll bring in Elliott Life. And Life can bring in a couple runs here with a base hit. It is a 4-3 lead here in the bottom of the 5th inning. First pitch to Elliott Life. Looked out for strike 1. And a lightning strike way back in center field, but it was a perfect time for the home plate umpire to look to his right, so he didn't see it. Here's the 0-1 pitch. And that one's now taken for strike 2. And so we'll continue to watch that. It was far off in the distance. The 0-2 pitch. Life will fight it off. It's going to be caught by the third baseman. Everybody's going to have to retreat back to their base. And a good play there by Olson. There's now 2 down. And Post State's got to find a way to score at least one more run here. Got the bases loaded and nobody out. You got to find a way to score more than one run. And here is Coverdale, the leadoff hitter in the order. First pitch is missed low and a good block there by Fyock, and it's 1-0. Coverdale, he is 1 for 3. Rashawn Air to lead off the bottom of the 1st. Tripled in the 2nd, but was stranded at third base, and then flew out to the center fielder in the 4th inning. That one's popped up on the right side. He's going to take charge over there. The second baseman will make the catch to retire the side. So Post State scores 1 run on 3 hits in the inning. No errors and 3 men left on base. We head to the top of the 6th. It is 4-3. Post State has got the lead back. You're back in a minute. You're listening to Post State Baseball on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. As we welcome you back here to Hyatt Stadium, Matt Lusk. Looks like he's on the mound to pitch for Post State. As we play here into the top of the 6th inning, Lusk going on 1 day's rest. He had enough to come back here today. Has had another lightning strike just far enough away. Keeping the ball game going right now. We've played a full game. We've got 5 innings complete. So if we do get caught into a storm where we can't finish this ball game, that would be a final here. The Post State leading 4-3. Chuck Olson Hunter Regenberg and Austin Wagman will be the first three hitters to meet Matt Lusk, who is 2 for 2 in save opportunities and looking to get another 6 outs. First pitch from Lusk is upstairs for ball 1. Lusk so far has looked good from the mound in his last couple of outings. 1-1 is fouled back and is now 1-1. To the leadoff hitter, number 5 in the order, Chuck Olson, who's 0 for 2. He's grounded the ball back to the shortstop Stout in both at-bats. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That one, it just misses inside, now 2-1. Lighting become a little bit more frequent out behind right field. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Above the letters, now 3-1. Here's a 3-1 from Matt Lusk. That one's flown out to right field, and that'll be caught by Will Van Camp, as he barely had to move for that one in the first out here in the top of the 6th inning. Here's Hunter Regenberg. Regenberg reached on an air back in the 2nd inning, came around to score, and also flew out to the left fielder, Elliott Life, to end the top of the 3rd inning. Kobe Carr went 5 innings. He gave up 3 runs. All 3 of those were unearned runs. And the only hits that he allowed, the only one hit that he allowed was in the 5th inning. He had a no-hitter through 4 innings. But yet he was trailing after leaving the mound after the top of the 3rd. 1-1 pitch. That one's fouled back and is now 1-2. And almost went in the bed of a truck. It'll hop across the street. But again, just a couple too many walks. Well, the air has really hurt Carr, not to his discredit. As a ground ball to the second baseman, Coverdale is fielded to his right, and there's now 2 down. Here in the top of the 6th inning.
Second baseman, Austin Wagman.
As we have a pinch hitter, it's going to be Tyler Hoffman. They're going to come in for Austin Wagman. I believe he said 5 for 4 was checking in. First pitch is taken for strike 1. That is number 5, Tyler Hoffman. Hoffman will look at the 0-1 pitch, just low, and is now 1-1. Last game, he went 1 for 3 with a base hit. Actually, 1 for 2. The base hit, drew a walk, and struck out. 1-1 pitch. That one is taken for strike 2. Now 1-2. Matt Lusk looking for a quick 1-2-3 inning. Here's the 1-2 pitch. He will get that 1-2-3 inning. He strikes out Hoffman, and that will retire the side here at the top of the 6th. No runs, no hits, no errors, no one left on base. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning. It is a 4-3 lead for Post State. Back in a minute, you listen to Post State Baseball on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. Two, 3, and 4 to lead things off for Post State. Garrett Stout, Andy Gordon, and Gray Zabel. Who I guess on base will be Cade Hinkle as we play in the bottom of the 6th inning. It's an official game right now as we're still kind of watching the weather and things are starting to move a little bit. Rainbow over left field. First pitch is Taken for strike one. And if you're watching the video on the KCCR sports page, you're probably seeing a little bit of that flash of lightning as well. 0-1 pitch is upstairs, now 1-1. Umpires are, I don't know if they're trying to keep their head down, maybe so they get all 7 innings in, or what they might be. If they're just not seeing it just yet. 1-1 pitch, that one will be hit foul down the first base line. You can see that rainbow if you're on the YouTube channel, KCCR Sports. You can see that rainbow out going from left field over to the top of center field. Count is 1-2. Clemens in his second inning of work. Here is the 1-2 pitch. Stout will get over the head of the center fielder. Brock Martin misjudged that one. And Stout's going to round second and head for third as it bounces off the wall. He's going to be standing up on third with a leadoff triple. Here to open up the bottom of the sixth inning. And that'll bring in Andy Gordon. Excuse me. Yeah, Andy Gordon. Here with nobody out, he's 1 for 3. Been a ground out victim twice. He got a base hit. First pitch to Gordon is taken for strike one. Might see some sprinkles here soon. That rain and most of the storm where most of that lightning is at is west of us, southwest of us. As it's now a 1-1 count to Andy Gordon. The 1-1 pitch. That one misses low now, 2-1. Here playing the bottom of the sixth inning. 4-3 is our score. Gordon with Stout on at first, trying to drive him in. And he probably will, as that one's flown out towards right center field. The right fielder in Munch will make the catch. Stout will tag, and he will come to score. The throw home is going to be well late. And it's now a 5-3 post-state lead on the RBI sac fly from Andy Gordon. And there's one down here in the bottom of the sixth inning. There's another a good job of post-state doing their job, and now they're going to check over at third base. That Stout left early, but the appeal is not won by the Smitties. Clemens just jogged over to third base from the pitching mound. So there's one down here in the bottom of the sixth. Here's Gray Zabel. He got a base hit in his first at-bat. He came in off the bench for Bennett Dean in the fifth inning. As they fouled out to the left side. 0-1. Rainbow still in full force. Here's the 0-1 pitch as the shift is on for Zabel. Swing and a miss. He got a foul tip, and it's now 0-2. With one down here in the bottom of the sixth inning. Again, if you're looking for severe weather coverage on today's KCCR, head over to the 2 FM stations, Country 95.3 or 104.5 Capital City Rock. 0-2 is upstairs now, 1-2. We can head to the Facebook page, today's KCCR, as Zach Nelson continues the severe weather coverage here on this Wednesday evening. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Zabel goes down on strikes. Good off-speed pitch. Kept the hands back, but he couldn't find contact. And here's Cade Hinkle with 2 down in the bottom of the sixth inning. Hinkle is 1 for 2. And an infield single in his last at-bat. Got stranded on at third base. Just 1 run scored in the bottom of the fifth. Gave Post State that lead back at 4-3, and they now lead 5-3. That one's fouled away. And it's now 1-1. So Hinkle will battle here. The 1-1 pitch upstairs, now 2-1. Hear that thunder a little bit more all around us. Just hasn't gotten to the Fort Pierre area yet. 2-1 pitch. That one's fouled away. Now 2-2. And that one will bounce on Capitol Avenue right in front of a car driving by. And with a 2-2 count, again, the shift is on. And here's the 2-2. That one's floated up into right center field. Coming in is the center fielder, and Brock Martin will make the catch and retire the side here in the bottom of the 6th inning. 1 run on 1 hit, no errors, no one left on base. We have played 6 completes. Post State trying to close this one out. 3 outs to go. Back in a minute. You're listening to Post State Baseball. Today is KCCR, and today is KCCR.com. Back here for the top of the 7th inning. First pitch is taken for strike 1 to Brock Martin. The 0-1 to Martin. That was a swing and a miss. Now 0-2. He's 0 for 2 so far. He reached on an air. And also popped out to the shortstop Stout. Here's the 0-2 pitch. And there's a 3-pitch strikeout for Matt Lust to open up the top of the 7th. His second strikeout. Going back-to-back. Dating back to the top of the 6th and the top of the 6th inning. Here's Nelson Munch. The Storms are getting just a little bit closer. We're going to forego the post-game show once this ball game is over. First pitch is taken for strike 1. And maybe Matt Lusk is just trying to get this 7th inning over as quick as he can. But we'll forego the post-game show. So as that one misses just time for Zach Nelson to potentially get down to the AM studio and broadcast on all 3 stations. So that severe weather coverage is going through our listening area right now. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Now 1-2 to Nelson Munch, who is 0 for 1. Walked in the 2nd. Ground out victim, the 3rd baseman Keenels in the 4th. The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts here to open up the top of the 7th. 3 in the game for Matt Lusk. And he is now away from his 3rd straight save as Avery Badmoccasin will step to the plate. Here's the first pitch. It's taken for strike 1. Bet you that tarp's going to be on pretty quick after this ball game's over. The 0-1 pitch, swinging and a miss, 0-2. Matt Lusk trying to make quick work, looking to strike out the side. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Here's a ground ball to the left side. Key Knowles will field on the run. The throw to first is in time. And it's a doubleheader sweep for Post State here this evening against the Aberdeen Smitties. They win 5-3 in game number 2. They win 11-1 in game number 1. They're going to get that tarp on as fast as they possibly can as that storms are starting to come through. But Post State wins both of them here tonight. That'll wrap things up for the broadcast. We'll be back on the air at 4 o'clock tomorrow, or around 3:40 tomorrow, for a 4 o'clock doubleheader against Sioux Falls West. Final scores tonight, as we think Spencer Kelly back at the station. Final scores tonight, 11-1 in 5 innings for Post State. So they win the first one, they win the second one, 5-3 over the Aberdeen Smitties. As we say goodnight from Hyde Stadium. Thanks, Spence. Appreciate it.